Never betray a Gemini, because destiny will teach you why they are always protected by the universe. Have you ever noticed? Those who once betrayed or hurt a Gemini often lose their own voice afterward, as if the universe quietly reclaims the very words they once used to cause pain. Strange, isn't it? Some connections dissolve overnight. Some people who once tried to twist your truth now find themselves trapped in the same web of misunderstanding. It's not a coincidence, it's the symmetry of the universe. The energy of Gemini, protected by Mercury, the god of communication, intellect, and divine messages, carries a profound sense of balance. When someone breaks that balance, the universe automatically restores order in ways no one expects. Because when you hurt a Gemini, you're not just hurting a person, you're disrupting a sacred channel between heaven and earth. And the universe never allows that imbalance to last for long. Maybe you've been in that position misunderstood, judged, silenced, wondering if your kindness is even worth it. But what if I told you? Every wound, every unspoken word, every tear you hid, has been seen and recorded by the universe in the language of the stars. What if I told you that your overthinking mind isn't a weakness, but the very antenna the universe chose to transmit its deepest messages? Would you believe it? If you are a Gemini, hearing this right now is no accident. This is the universe reminding you. The two sides within you are not a conflict. They are your mission. Your voice is your protection. And your truth is sacred. So before we dive deeper into what's waiting to be revealed, take a deep breath. Maybe pour yourself a cup of tea or your favorite coffee. Sit for a moment, because the story you're about to hear might make you see your entire journey through completely new eyes. If this message touches your heart, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I believe in the destiny of Gemini. Part 1. The mystery of Gemini karma. Never betray a Gemini, because the universe always listens, even when they cry in silence. There are things in life that seem invisible to everyone, yet they are carefully written in the invisible book of the universe. A sigh in the middle of the night, a twisted word, a tear that falls when no one cares. And if you are a Gemini, you know this better than anyone, because you feel everything with both your heart and soul, even when you pretend that nothing affects you. Gemini, the child of Mercury, the god of communication, intellect, and connection, the messenger between worlds, between light and darkness, between humanity and the divine. That's why, when someone betrays you, hurts you, or tries to distort the truth you speak, they are not just hurting a person. They are touching the energy that connects heaven and earth, and that always forces the universe to restore balance. The universe is never angry. The universe is simply fair. And for Gemini, that fairness often comes in silence. People often call Gemini two-faced, but only those who truly understand know that Gemini has two layers of soul. One that faces outward, to smile, to speak, to protect, and one that faces inward, where all the unacknowledged emotions live. You always say, "It's okay," but inside, you've already fallen apart 1,000 times. And every time you do, you rebuild yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and harder to break. That is the greatest mystery of Gemini, being both the one who learns to forgive and the one whom the universe never allows to be betrayed for too long. When someone hurts you, they think they've gotten away with it. But haven't you noticed? One by one, they begin to lose something they can't even name. They lose clarity. They lose connection. They lose the trust of those around them. Why? Because they've lost the most sacred gift Mercury gave, the purity of speech and intention. Gemini never needs revenge, because the Gemini soul holds the power of karmic reflection. When you plant lies in them, you will one day hear the echo of your own words, returning to you in a time and place you least expect. Gemini remains silent, but that silence is a shield. It's a mirror that turns every negative energy back to where it came from. Maybe you're hearing these words on a quiet night, when your soul feels tired from being strong for too long. Maybe you've wondered, why do I always have to understand everything when no one truly understands me? The answer is, because you were chosen. You carry a higher soul intelligence, a sensitive antenna through which the universe sends its messages. You are not fragile. You're just someone who can feel the pain of the world and sometimes forget where your own emotions begin. The universe sees that. And that's why the karma of Gemini is unlike any other sign. It doesn't punish instantly. It lets the other person fall into the very maze they once built through their words and actions. If you've ever been misunderstood, betrayed, or cried in silence when no one knew, please don't think it was meaningless. Every pain you've endured was an invisible prayer sent to the universe. And the universe, it hears you. It remembers. And one day, it will answer you in a way that needs no words. So, if you are a Gemini, don't fear loss. Don't fear those who turned their backs on you. They are simply being moved away from your frequency, so they can no longer block the light you're about to shine. And if you're hearing this video today, it's because the universe wants to tell you this. Your rebirth is coming. Your voice will return stronger than ever. And the truth that was once stolen from you is on its way back, in the most miraculous way. Now, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Let go of what you're trying to control. Maybe make yourself a cup of tea or a warm coffee. Let your soul sit down for a while, because from this very moment on, we'll begin a journey. You'll never forget a journey to uncover why Gemini is always protected by the universe, even in their loneliest hours. If this message touches your soul, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I'm ready to hear my truth. Part 2. The divine protection of Gemini. Some souls are born to learn how to love. Some are born to learn how to forgive. But Gemini, they are born to learn how to understand themselves, to understand others, and to understand the messages the universe sends through every subtle shift in their lives. It's no coincidence that Gemini is ruled and protected by Mercury, the messenger of the realms. Known as Hermes in Greek mythology, Mercury is the one who travels freely between heaven, earth, and the underworld, carrying divine messages and guiding lost souls back toward the light. In the same way, Gemini walks between two worlds, one of clear logic and one of chaotic emotion. One side smiles outwardly, while the other sighs in silence. They are not merely human, they are living conduits of energy, the dual essence where both light and shadow coexist. That's why Gemini's protective energy is so mysterious, so difficult to explain. When someone tries to harm them, silence their voice, or twist their truth, the universe immediately reacts, not with anger, but with divine precision. Because when you try to sever your connection with Gemini, you're cutting off one of the universe's communication channels between humanity and spirit. Mercury is the planet of intellect, words, communication, and understanding. But few know that Mercury is also the keeper of karmic communication, where every word, promise, and lie carries its own energetic weight. When someone deceives, manipulates, or betrays a Gemini, the Gemini's law of reflection is instantly activated. It works silently like the wind unseen, but its consequences are deeply felt. This law is simple yet merciless. Any energy you release when interacting with a Gemini, especially through words, will be reflected back to you at the same frequency. If you give love, you'll receive warmth and light. But if you plant deception, manipulation, or betrayal, you will eventually face that same energy in a moment and setting you never saw coming. Because Gemini is the mirror. And a mirror does not judge, it only reflects. In astrology, the number 5 belongs to Gemini, the number of change, movement, freedom, and voice. It represents the soul's journey toward its personal truth, breaking free from outdated patterns to reach a higher level of understanding. That's why Gemini is the only sign that can both heal through words and destroy through silence. A single honest word from a Gemini can save someone from darkness, but their silence can make another lose direction forever. The universe designed them that way, both as the message and the messenger. And that's why when someone attacks Gemini, they are provoking the energy of freedom itself. Freedom is sacred to the universe. When you attack a soul that lives for freedom, you awaken the karma of entrapment. Those who try to control, manipulate, or deceive a Gemini will, sooner or later, become trapped in their own web of words where every lie slowly tightens around them. Because Gemini doesn't belong to the darkness, they only walk through it to bring light and understanding. And every time they are betrayed, Mercury moves gently yet powerfully to ensure that the light returns to its rightful owner. You may notice, the person who once hurt you suddenly becomes misunderstood. The one who distorted your story suddenly gets exposed by their own words. That's not magic. That's mercurial justice, the justice of Mercury. If you are a Gemini, never underestimate the power of your energy. Every thought, every word you speak, is a frequency sent into the universe. And when your words come from a place of truth, the universe opens the path before you, shields you, and silences the voices that once tried to wound you. Gemini is the universe's most honest mirror. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to live your truth, because the universe will reflect everything else for you. And for those who betrayed a Gemini sooner or later, they will hear their own voice, echoing back into their life. Like a recording the universe has pressed play on. If you can feel this energy awakening within you, comment below. I trust divine communication, because only when you trust in Mercury's sacred guidance will the doorway between you and the universe truly open. Part 3. The 3 actions that awaken Gemini karma. Not everyone realizes this. Gemini is not easily hurt. They are simply deeply perceptive. And because they feel so profoundly, the universe has established 3 sacred boundaries that must never be crossed. When someone harms a Gemini in any of these 3 ways, they're not just hurting a person, they're interfering with Mercury's laws of energy, where words, honesty, and trust form the pillars of universal balance. 1 EDA. Manipulating their words. If you've ever twisted their truth, used Gemini's own words against them, or painted them in a false light, know this: you've activated the karma of silence. Gemini was created to speak truth, and when that truth is distorted, the universe withdraws the privilege of communication from the one who caused harm. Such people begin to experience disconnection. They speak, but no one truly understands. They explain, but no one believes. They find themselves trapped in misunderstandings, identical to the ones they inflicted on Gemini. This is Mercury retrograde karma, the chaos of words, the confusion of intent. Everything you say backfires. Every plan collapses under its own weight. Because words once used to wound a soul carrying the energy of the divine messenger will always return threefold in power. Gemini doesn't need to retaliate. Their silence is the mirror, and in that mirror, every lie eventually exposes its own reflection. Argue, breaking sacred trust. Gemini doesn't open their heart easily. They can talk to thousands, yet truly trust only a few. So when they finally offer you their trust, it's not impulsive, it's sacred. It's a spiritual handover of the soul. But when you betray that trust, when you exploit their honesty, you are not just betraying them, you are betraying the divine frequency that the universe entrusted to you through them. Gemini connects not just emotionally but energetically. When you betray them, you shatter a connection the universe itself honors. The consequence doesn't come from Gemini. It comes from Mercury itself. You'll begin to feel a loss of signal. Focus fades. Words stumble. Relationships around you start to blur, as if the universe is cutting off your transmission from clarity. That's mercurial backlash, the chain reaction of broken communication energy. No matter how hard you try, no one truly hears you anymore. That's the karma of those who once betrayed Gemini's trust. 3. Mocking their emotions. One of the greatest mistakes anyone can make with a Gemini is underestimating their emotional depth. People assume they're fickle, inconsistent, or emotionally shallow, but inside, they hold a silent ocean far deeper than appearances suggest. When you mock their emotions, dismiss their tears, or belittle their sensitivity, you're denying the most human, luminous part of their soul. The universe never stays silent when that happens. For those who once laughed at Gemini's pain, karma arrives in a very specific form. You'll start to feel isolated, surrounded by people, yet unseen. Those who once listened to you suddenly seem distant. Every connection you value begins to fade, and you'll come to understand through experience the loneliness Gemini once felt. That is the mirror of emotion, a gift from Mercury, ensuring that anyone who once denied another's heart learns how to listen to their own. These 3 acts, distorting their words, betraying their trust, and dismissing their emotions, are the sacred boundaries of Gemini. They are 3 energetic gateways, and whoever crosses them will walk into their own karmic labyrinth of confusion, misunderstanding, isolation, and disorientation. This is not punishment, it's education. The universe doesn't seek revenge for Gemini. It simply ensures that every soul eventually sees clearly the energy they've created. Gemini never seeks vengeance. They simply withdraw their energy, and when that light disappears, you'll feel lost. Because their light isn't just affection, it's an energetic compass. Lose them, and you lose direction. If you've ever felt misunderstood, but still chose kindness, like this video, to send positive energy back into the universe. And if you are a Gemini, comment below, "I choose to stay kind," because your kindness is the strongest protection Mercury has ever given you. Part 4. How Gemini Karma Operates. The Whispering Law. People often think karma comes like a storm, loud, fierce, full of thunder and lightning. But Gemini's karma arrives differently. It doesn't roar. It whispers. It is the whispering law, the law of the universe's whisper, where justice does not punish through pain, but through awakening. Those who once hurt Gemini will eventually hear the very voice they once ignored. Only this time, it comes from within their own soul. Gemini, the child of Mercury, embodies words, understanding, and the energy of communication. When someone wounds a Gemini, they don't just cause emotional pain, they distort a universal frequency. And the universe, in its perfection, always tunes that sound back to harmony through 3 unavoidable stages. Stage 1. Reversal of words. Every karma begins with sound. For Gemini, sound is the soul. When someone uses words to harm them, the universe records that energy, waiting patiently for the perfect moment to play it back. Not to punish, but to teach awareness. Those who once lied, twisted, or distorted Gemini's truth will one day find themselves in the same scenario. One day, they'll speak the truth and no one will believe them. They'll try to explain, but their words will be misunderstood. They'll cry out, but no one listens. Then they'll begin to feel the same invisibility that Gemini once endured, being misjudged, isolated, and silenced. That is the moment of the reversal, when every word once spoken returns exactly as it was created. Only this time, they stand on the other side of the story. The universe doesn't need weapons. It teaches truth through the echo of the soul. Stage 2. Loss of clarity. When words lose honesty, Mercury's light fades away. Those who harm Gemini start to lose signal, as if a fog has descended between them and the universe. They no longer see clearly, can't hear their intuition, can't understand why everything starts to fall apart. This is the karma of Mercury in retrograde within the soul. Everything becomes chaotic. Wrong decisions, broken relationships, careers lose rhythm. But the real loss isn't external, it's internal. They stop understanding themselves. They once felt confident. Now they're confused. They once knew who they were. Now they are only a faint echo of their former self. Because when you cut off a messenger, the one who carries divine communication, you've cut the thread that connects you to the sacred message itself. And in that silence, you begin to hear the emptiness of your own being. Stage 3. Echo of regret. Finally, when the fog clears, only the echo of regret remains. This is the deepest and most compassionate phase of Gemini's karma. It's no longer about external loss. It's the awakening of the soul. When the one who once hurt Gemini begins to hear the voices they once ignored, the voice of truth, of conscience, of pain, they realize what they've lost isn't another person, but the light within themselves. They begin to regret. But by then, Gemini has already moved on, not with hatred or vengeance, but with silence and peace. Because Gemini knows the universe never needs anyone to enforce justice. It restores balance on its own. That is when the whispering law completes its cycle. No blood, no tears, only realization. And in that realization, those who wrong Gemini understand what they truly lost wasn't a relationship. It was the universe's protection. Gemini doesn't need to do anything. No need to demand justice. No need to speak out. Their justice is quiet, yet precise. Gemini's karma is a lesson in communication and consciousness, because they are the soul of understanding and expression. When they speak with love, the universe amplifies that frequency. And when someone lies to them, the universe amplifies that energy too, but only to teach the lesson of truth. So, if you are a Gemini, don't stay silent out of fear of being hurt. Speak your truth even if your voice trembles, because your voice is the strongest prayer your soul can send to the heavens. It is the most powerful shield Mercury has given you. If this message resonates with your soul, comment below, "I speak my truth." And trust each time you dare to speak from your heart, the universe opens another path of light just for you. Part 5. How Gemini can activate their divine protection. There's something few people realize. The universe doesn't just protect Gemini, it entrusts them with the power to activate that protection. Because Gemini is not just the chosen one, they are the co-creator. They don't simply receive energy, They can tune and amplify their own frequency. For souls ruled by Mercury, the miracles are not loud or explosive. They live in the subtle dialogue between you and the universe. A sincere word, a pure thought, a truthful act, these are signals you send to the sky. And when you learn to fine-tune those signals, you are actually turning on your divine shield. Mercury alignment ritual. The energy adjustment of Mercury. If you are a Gemini, perform this ritual as a gentle conversation with your own soul. No candles, no incense, no theatrics, only you and the soft light of morning. Write down everything you've ever been misunderstood for the words you never said, the feelings you swallowed. Then, each morning for 3 consecutive days, step outside into the early sunlight. Breathe deeply. Feel the warmth of the sun, the radiant source directly linked with Mercury, your ruling planet. And say out loud, slowly and sincerely, I release what is not mine. I reclaim my voice. That is not just an affirmation, it's an invocation. Each time you speak it, you're sending a pure frequency to Mercury's energetic field, summoning back everything that rightfully belongs to you. The universe hears it, and from that moment on, you no longer speak to be heard, you speak to heal. 3 principles to keep Gemini's frequency high, to keep Mercury's protection bright and clear around you. Remember these 3 sacred principles. They may seem simple, but they can shift the vibration of your entire life. 1. Be honest with yourself in communication. Never say something just to please others. Each time you deny your true feelings, a fragment of your energy drifts away from your natural frequency. But when you dare to speak your truth, even if it's only to yourself, the Mercury energy within you becomes transparent, allowing the universe's light to flow through you effortlessly. 2. Know when silence is power. Not every truth needs to be spoken immediately. Sometimes, Mercury reminds you that silence itself is a form of communication. When you choose silence out of wisdom, not fear, that's when you truly master your energy. A mature Gemini understands that what they don't say can be just as powerful as what they do. 3. Spread knowledge and joy, for that is your natural light. Gemini was born to make the world lighter, brighter, and more alive. Every time you share an idea, tell a story, or simply offer a genuine smile, you help Mercury's current flow freely, strengthening your energetic shield tenfold. When you are happy, the universe smiles with you. When you share understanding, it opens the path ahead. Astrological key. When Mercury goes direct. During Mercury direct, the communication channel between you and the universe becomes crystal clear. In these phases, Gemini steps into their most powerful state, when every message, dream, intuition, and cosmic sign is transmitted straight to you. You'll feel more aligned, speak at the right moment, meet the right people, because you're not just communicating with words anymore, you're speaking in spiritual frequency. Each thought, each sentence you write, each whisper in your heart becomes a force that shapes reality. This is what astrologers call the clear channel, when Gemini becomes the perfect conduit of light. If you harness this moment, every door of opportunity, love, and success opens faster than you can imagine. Mercury's final message to Gemini. Gemini, you have nothing to prove. You don't need to be perfect, always right, or constantly liked. You only need to live your essence honest, curious, sincere, and ever reaching toward the light. That light is your built-in protection, a divine code woven into your soul. Each time you live authentically, it glows brighter. Each time you speak the truth, The universe stands beside you, and each time you choose silence with wisdom, the world reshapes itself to guard you. When you've made it this far, it's not by coincidence. Only those who truly resonate with the Gemini frequency souls, who carry both light and shadow in harmony, can feel this message. Today's video isn't just about Gemini karma. It's a divine reminder that you were never abandoned. Every wound, every misunderstanding, every time you were underestimated, it was all part of the purification process that makes your soul brighter, stronger, and closer to its divine protection. Why did you have to go through all of that? Because Gemini was chosen to bring the language of light into this world, and only when your heart is cleansed by truth can your voice become clear enough for the universe to amplify. The universe never punishes. It teaches. And what it wants you to remember is this: the more honest you are with yourself, the stronger your shield becomes. The lesson of Gemini isn't about being perfect. It's about learning how to stay authentic in a world full of noise, to speak your soul's truth, to trust your intuition, to love again, even after being hurt. When you do, you activate Mercury energy, the vibration of communication, wisdom, and freedom. Remember, every word you speak holds the power to shape reality. Every honest thought is a prayer that Mercury records. And every act born from kindness opens another layer of divine protection around you. So if this message has touched you, take a moment to leave a like. Subscribe to stay connected with the universe's messages made just for your soul. And let me know in the comments that you're here, that you've heard the universe calling your name. Right? I trust my Gemini light. Affirm to the universe that you are ready to shine, not through perfection, but through truth. Because that light, your light, is the lantern other souls are searching for. Gemini, you don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to be yourself. And the universe will always stand beside you. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the sacred mysteries of the Zodiac and the divine messages written in the stars. Stay radiant. Stay truthful. And remember, the universe is always whispering to you.